Speaking of people driving people to suicide who are not the Kiwi Farms, we have Michaela Rains, who is the founder of the Save a Fox Foundation, who committed suicide this week, allegedly over a sustained harassment campaign from a Reddit snark subreddit. There is a lot to this, and I'm going to give a very, very surface level observation, basically with the limited time and interest that I had in this. This is what I was able to scrape together. This woman ran a foundation, and she made a YouTube channel called Save a Fox that has about 2.5 million subscribers. She makes a lot of money, and she faced a lot of criticism. Now, here's the issue, is that when animals are involved on the internet, there is always going to be an extremist who tries to make up abuse allegations. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's like that. Anytime at all there is an animal involved in any public figure's public life, it becomes a point of contention, a point of controversy. People are very, very protective of animals, which I understand. They're defenseless. They're literally pure. They can do no evil. There's no such thing as an evil animal. They're all driven by instinct, by their nature, and they can't be ever held liable for what they do. There's always a person responsible for an animal's actions at the end of the day. And so people get very defensive about animals because they can't defend themselves. They can't speak for themselves. And when an animal's involved, people lose their fucking mind, which on one hand, I get it. On the other hand, calm the fuck down. There were several locales who have had cats, just regular fucking cats, regular house cats. And these cats always, invariably, became a point of contention where people would falsely report abuse, call in animal welfare services on people's homes to inspect the animals. And then even after the animal welfare people would give a clean bill of health and say there's no abuse going on, they just didn't look well enough, or they would always come up with some excuse to justify being wrong. And, you saw this with fucking H3, happened with Chantal, it happened with Amber Lynn, happens with Darkside Phil. Like anytime an animal's involved, it's crazy. So you have a YouTube channel about animals, and the stage is already set for fucking disaster, which is not helped because this woman is a little bit crazy. She is BPD, like 100%, no doubt about it, probably diagnosed, certified, taking medication, BPD, which means that her behavior is anomalous, inflammatory, and a spectacle to behold, which is not a good thing when you're a public-facing YouTube channel. In particular, she ran an OnlyFans. I think I have some things for the OnlyFans here. So this is Michaela Rains just last year saying, I took these photos when I was feeling sad. I feel fine now. During the C-section recovery phase, it wasn't fun. So some of you are just here for the hot pictures and videos. Some of you are here to get to know me and what I do. More exclusive private life. This video I have to share isn't sexy. It's me in real life. But if you're curious or care to know about how breastfeeding ruined my boobs, I have a whole booby journey to show you before they looked, during and after. Just inbox me, Bab. So she would use, sorry, that's a jump scare. She would use her OnlyFans basically as a place to vent and to get affirmation from men about her attractiveness, which is quintessential diagnostic fucking criteria for borderline personality disorder. And much to the chagrin of her snark community, her foxes from the foundation would serve as sexual enhancing accessories. She did not have sex with animals. She did not do anything inappropriate with animals, but she would pose naked with animals, which, I mean, I think there's like classical paintings of women laying with lions and shit like that. That's not, from an artistic perspective, that's not like a new thing at all. But these are real animals. These aren't just like some horny guy from Belgium drawing a sexy lady laying on a lion all gracefully and shit on her chaise lounge. I'm gonna see how many times I can say chaise lounge in this episode. Laying on a chaise lounge with her tiger as a pillow. It's not just a horny Belgian man's fantasy. It's a real animal and a real foundation. So people cry about that. I think some would talk about bestiality, but that's fucking absurd. She was just posing to look sexy or whatever. But in particular, this woman who is a pooner, this is Casio Lion. Speaking of lions, she is a furry pooner. And may Allah forgive me for saying this word, she's a Redditor. So in the Auntie Michaela subreddit, this Casio Lion was responsible for making a, I don't know what to call it. If you ever go to certain snark Reddits or certain lolcow subreddits, there's often usually a pinned message that contains a, this is why we fucking hate this person and want them to die and be homeless and destitute in the street because they're just the fucking worst. Almost every lolcow has this, and then it's stuff like they're heckin' transphobic and they're heckin' homophobic and they want the N-word, and it's just like shit like that. And it's like, so therefore, they deserve to have a community of people who poke at them 24/7, call CPS on them, call animal protection services on them, dox them, go to their house, all sorts of shit. And you might say, well, you're throwing stones. I've said this before, I'll say it fucking again. These Stark subreddits are worse than anything the Kiwi Farms does on a routine basis. They are literally everything that the press says the Kiwi Farms is in actuality, and Reddit tolerates it for reasons unbeknownst to me, and they get away with it because they're a multi-million-dollar company. And it's very frustrating to see. They actively encourage doxing. They actively encourage going to people's houses. They actively encourage calling CPS and animal services. They do it constantly. And so this woman put together the big call out post that they pinned. And when, of course, people go to the subreddit to see, her husband, I'm not going to play the video, but her husband posted a video about her committing suicide. And it's just like, he's obviously completely fucked up over it. And it's not funny. But in it, he mentions the online harassment and the Snark subreddits. So people naturally flow into the Snark subreddit to see what the fuck's going on. And what's the first thing they see? Reasons why Michaela deserves to fucking die. Save those foxes and bash her fucking brains. And here's the reason. 1, heckin' transphobe, heckin' bigot, heckin' racist Nazi, heckin' fascist, heckin' racisms, heckin' colonialism. Like, just that shit. And then everything I mentioned about OnlyFans, some stuff about animals, but it's that kind of shit. So people think Casio did it. Casio initially said they weren't going to back down. Here's a post on the Fur Affinity. The Floof King, she calls herself. Hello, Casio here. You act like I went to Michaela's house, sliced her open, and left her out to bleed. All I did was put together a few sources pointing out some things she did wrong. I had no hand in bullying of any kind. Even if I did, you're no better for calling me slurs, telling me you're going to dox me, and sending me instructions on how to kill myself. You ask if I'm proud of myself. If I killed myself with the guides you sent me, would you be proud of yourself? Get real. In case you're wondering, yes, Casio Lion was doxed. No, not by the Kiwi Farms, but by the Sharding. Here's a real picture. I'm only going to mention this in passing. Here is the Soy Jack Party in real life meetup. I'm not fucking joking. This is a real meetup of Soy Jack Party users. I don't know which one of them doxed Casio Lion. I'm assuming this guy. I don't know why. Instinctively, my brain thinks this is the guy right here. He did it. Now, the FBI might want to be investigating this guy. There's just some things about their look and their shirt that is making me think that the FBI should do a little bit of an investigatorino about him. I don't know what it is. But one of these guys, I didn't even notice the fucking Puerto Rican Dominican Republic ninja back here, but we got a Puerto Rican Dominican Republic ninja back here. I feel like I should give him a call out too. And then even we have a Chinese mall cop. This might actually be the FBI agent who's looking after this guy. I think this guy is being watched by this FBI handler in the background. We got evidence of him. He's real. So these guys from the Shardy, one of them, they doxed Casio Lion over here and posted it all over the internet, which caused Zare to immediately delete all of her social media, but not before posting this to our wildlife rehab. Several years ago, I wrote an informational post explaining why a prominent figure in the animal rescue community is not the saint people think she is. Now I am alone and being blamed for her suicide. A video dropped today announcing Michaela Raines of Save a Fox death. Ever since, my notice have been overflowing with her meat riders. People have obsessively brigaded my posts and comments on various subs. You people are calling me slurs, threatening to dox me, and telling me to kill myself as well, and somehow you're the good guys. I bet if I were to actually kill myself, you'd be very quiet. Listen, we have a rule in the Kiwi Farms. Don't just talk about it, do it. Don't bait. No baiting over here. Talking about meat riders. Talking about that meat rider, no baiting. We got a no baiting rule in the Kiwi Farms, okay? When I first found out about what happened, in the very heat of the moment, I felt no remorse. Then a pit made itself known in my stomach and began to expand. But how? With the way you people are behaving, the guilt is starting to wane. I am proud of the fact I was able to raise awareness of her wrongdoings. What I am not proud of is that people took her death as an invitation to hold me personally responsible. I am proud of what I did. I'm just not happy about the accountability. It's like that meme, me reaping or me sowing. Fuck yes. Me reaping. Ah, shit, this sucks. Let's see. Can I zoom in? You probably won't believe me when I say this. Oh, wait, no, wait. Or that. Do people really think Michaela went, oh no, 2 years ago, a small furry creator on the lowercase I internet, which one, said I'm not perfect, time to kill myself. You probably won't believe me when I say this, but I was never a part of the SAF Snark subreddit. I never even knew it existed before today. Since the initial announcement, over 40 people, yes, over 40 of them, spelled with a U for some reason, which I guess means that she's British, have wished various things like bankruptcy and homelessness on me and telling me to rope myself and do what she did, among other graphic instructions to suicide, parentheses, one person even told me to create mustard gas, as if they're any better for it. This just in, you're not. However bad you think I am, you're only proving yourself to be worse. When you kill your enemies, chat, they win. Another thing I've seen is people pulling the autism card. Newsflash, autism doesn't give you impunity from animal abuse. I should know since I have it too. Oh, I couldn't tell because you're a pooner. If Michaela cannot be blamed for her fox's easily preventable deaths, then I cannot be blamed for her own death. If you're going to blame anyone, blame the Tumblr users. What's this mustelid and the fox video cute for bringing to my attention everything wrong with Save a Fox? I simply compiled the information they had given me that is not bullying from What's This Mustelid themselves. Ethan specifically pointed out the loudest voices affecting Michaela were people she knew in other animal sanctuaries, not a random Tumblr blog that gets less than 100 notes on each post. This post probably won't make things any better for me, but what you're doing now certainly isn't making things any better for you either. Wow. She has no tact. This bitch is retarded. I made one post putting together various sources, and that was it. Get a fucking life. No, child. It's you who will get the fucking life. So Casio down bad has since DFE'd. I guess the hate and harassment got too much. So let me, for the fairness of this investigative journalism, which I am doing, let me present to you Casio's evidence. And the most damning evidence is anecdotal stories from former Save a Fox employees or volunteers who reported that Michaela was very difficult to work with because she is BPD, and BPD people are just the worst. In case you're wondering, BPD people are genuinely fucking terrors. They exist. BPD people, the defining characteristic of somebody with BPD is that they exist to cause problems. That's it. That's the mental illness. They exist to cause problems. When I say most people want to just get by in life, most people don't want to deal with bullshit. Like whenever I get like super jolly about people, I'm like, look, you know, most days you can be around a myriad of diversity because most people are just trying to get through the fucking day. BPD people are not. BPD people exist to find a way to make it so that you cannot get through your day, which is why people don't like them. So here is the text messages detailing what working with Michaela is like. Tits out for Scotch, which is a fox. He was on a leash so lazy Michaela could catch him at night when it was time to put him back in the enclosures. He was on a lead and he got tangled and baked to death. This was on Friday, July 3rd. His leash became entangled in some shrubs in a corner of the yard, and he died from being baked in the sun and trying to free himself. The saddest, worst death you could possibly imagine, if you bear to think of it that way. Far worse than a fur farm death, far worse than a shot or hit, and probably more preventable. It's a different story. Luca got out and I ran upstairs to get Michaela for help, and she was out of it, slurring like wham. I'm like, dude, Luca is out of his yard. She goes, and I don't know what to do. Have Jax help you. I'm going to bed. I'm like, what the fuck? It took me 15 minutes to get him back in by myself, and she couldn't have cared less that a fox had escaped. She even told him to have his dog help him. He says he has no clue how the fox got out, but she was zoned the fuck out and didn't care. That fox could have just ran away. So this is a picture of Michaela that someone posted that was just called Michaela Meth Face. So there was allegations, rumors, speculation that Michaela was a heavy drug user. And I don't know what this is. It could just be like a really bad breakout. It could be meth. We talked recently about Chaggett scratching at the meth bugs under his skin. Well, I'm not an expert on what that looks like, but that certainly looks like the same kind of red sores that they say meth users get. So it could be that. I don't know if it is or if it's acne or what, but that's what they're saying. And then there was one other thing that, the misappropriation of funds. So it's a nonprofit organization for ostensibly for saving foxes, and the YouTube channel made a lot of money by making very family friendly fox content. Here are the cute foxes. Aren't they cute? Everybody loves a cute fox. Here's this fox being cute. Wow. Make sure, and then insert the ad for kitty litter that you're going to go buy. So she made a ton of money. Now you would think a organization like this making a ton of money would expand operations, get employees, kind of furlough their ad rev back into their charitable purpose, something like that. Her husband then bought a $400,000 car. I was told it was $400,000. My mind kind of stretches to imagine what kind of car could be $400,000. I think it's it's the kind of car that what's her face, Trisha Paytas got. It's like it's not. Is it a Rolls Royce? There's a or no, not a Rari. I don't know what it is. It's like a really fancy car that they deck out for you all custom and shit. I think it's a Rolls Royce. But yeah, I don't know. It was a $400,000 car apparently. I'm not sure what exactly kind of car. So, but there's that. Supposedly they live very extravagantly, so that would mean that a lot of that money, more than the animal people would appreciate, going back into her lifestyle as opposed to the charitable purpose. And the big criticism, and probably the most legitimate indirect criticism that I can find, would be that her way of getting foxes was that she would buy them from the fur farms. So these foxes have a very plush fur that's coveted by fashion industries because it's so soft and nice, right? So to get real fur, the most easy way to do so would simply be to breed the animal and then slaughter it for the pelt. And obviously, animal people have an issue with this, especially with cute, cuddly foxes, right? However, among even the animal lovers, there is a consensus that you should not buy animals from farms, because what you would want them to do is to stop breeding these wild animals that are not domesticated altogether. You would not want them to simply give you individual living foxes. You would prefer that they shut down completely. So by buying foxes from a fur farm, you're not saving a fox as much as you are a customer of the fur farm. You are directly funding their operations to breed and harvest pelt from these foxes. So the idea that she was buying the foxes, not simply rescuing injured ones from the wild or whatever, that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Probably, I don't know if Casio is lying or whatever, but if she was getting trouble with animal sanctuaries in her life around her, probably over that. Like, you're giving, your YouTube money to these fox farms, and we don't like that. The issue is that even if we were to assume that Casio Lion, the Snark subreddits, and all the animal sanctuary people were just the worst people on the fucking planet, and they were literally harassing her every day, the big issue that I have in not being sympathetic for Michaela Raines at all is that she had children. I read the OnlyFans post where she was talking about breastfeeding. She had a daughter, and her daughter is now surviving her. She's very young. I want to say she's like 8 or something. She's a little kid. So she's done a horrifically selfish thing that is inexcusable and indefensible. And you just really don't have more, even if you don't give a fuck about animals, like you should not do that to your own kid. That's really fucked up. Um, I'm so sick of people crying about breeders. Nobody wants your fucked up animal with PTSD. My niecey, I would highly recommend subscribing to my locals channel at matattheinternet.locals.com and watching the episode that I did about designer pit bulls, exotic pit bulls. Sorry, that's what they're called. Very fascinating look into what a purebred, healthy animal looks like from that perspective. The issue wasn't that they were breeding dogs. The issue was that they were breeding foxes, which are wild animals. And it wasn't a domestication program. It was a pelt program. So that's what people had issues with. 3x pimpy, 2x bait. That's right. Good job, chat. You remembered the meme. All right. That is Michaela Raines. It's a really, really deep dive, by the way, because people really fucking had fiery opinions about this. I will take the safe fence sitting approach to this. One other thing about buying the foxes. The other thing that she did is that she would request specific colors. Like she didn't say, if you have any that are sick, give them to me. I'll buy them or whatever. She said, I want one that has a black pelt. I want one that has a white pelt. I want one that has a red pelt. So she would have a preference for which color, which is like buying a pet as opposed to saving an animal. Okay. Actually, I kind of want to do a poll. Okay. Can we do a poll about this? I want to see. What side are people on? Poll. Who do you feel... How do I word this? Who is in the right? Okay. Wait, who's... Let's just do it this way. Whose team are you on? Quote, and then Michaela. Wait. Save a fox or Casio Lion. I'm gonna be inflammatory. You have to pick if you're gonna be on team. Why can't I send that? I send it on this one. Okay, you have to do exclamation point vote 1, save a fox, or vote 2, Casio Lion. Those are your only choices. Those are your only choices. As in a true and fair democracy representative of its people, you must vote if you are between our two candidates that accurately represent our constituency. Can I kill myself? You can always kill yourself. The real drama. Okay, so here's the fun thing. I teased in the Matt the Internet thread that this was going to be my most controversial stream ever. And I teased at the beginning of the stream that was the same thing. And our drama fan, who was the guy with the fuck is the name of that show? I like that show and I can't remember it. The Venture Brothers avatar. He votes 2. He votes 2 for Casio Lion, putting him in the minority. And I bring this up because in the thread, he said that in reply to me saying this is going to be a controversial stream, he said, you're going to take the side of the Redditors over Michaela Raines. So my opinion is, as he is a ex-Redditor, recovering Redditor, new Ara Drama fan. He has issues. He simply cannot side against his Pooner brethren, his brother in arms, Casio Lion. He can't do it. He can't betray his. See, that's what I mean, man. You can have these legal immigrants, but they're always going to be loyal to where they came from. You have this legal Redditor immigrant, but when it comes down to picking a side between the Save a Fox lady or the Redditor, he can't betray his countrymen. Um, for the record, without knowing more, I can't really make an informed opinion. However, she's an OnlyFans hoe. So I'm not on her side just instinctively. It does seem like the whole thing, the whole reason she's doing the cute fox gimmick is not even self-enrichment, but to like be told, "Oh, you're such a good person. Oh my god, I can't believe you do animal rescue for a living. That's so noble. You're so good. You're such a good person." And that kind of sickens me. Sickens me. I don't need to be told I'm a good person. I know I'm the best person ever, chat. I don't need external validation for my insane, unhinged things. I simply have a immortal furnace burning hot, giving me all the validation I could ever need. I know it's the right thing because I ordained to do it, chat. Okay. This is the lowest turnout for a poll I've ever seen, so I assume that most people simply chose not to vote. However, that means your vote did not count. But 78% said they were voting for Save a Fox over poor Casio Lion. Oh yeah, the OnlyFans. There was one other thing. She was not nude in this photo, but supposedly she posted like a picture of herself posing with a fox on OnlyFans, and her kid was like in the background somewhere. So it's like the kid wasn't being exploited. There was no nudity. It wasn't a porn shoot, but she got posted to OnlyFans, which is like should be a little bit more conscientious about these kinds of things. You should consider the optics, perhaps.
Thank you for watching this clip by Colonel J. This is the King of Bold here. Remember to like and subscribe. Juice!